Skate Story is one of the strangest, most visually intoxicating, and emotionally resonant games released in years. It's a game that blends surreal horror, meditative exploration, rhythmic movement, and high skill skate mechanics into something that feels less like a traditional action adventure and more like the world's most stylish existential crisis. You play as a fragile glass and dust entity cursed to descend into an underworld of impossible geometry, whispering demons, broken memories, and neon hallucinations. And the only way forward is to skate. Before anything else, Skate Story is a game about momentum, not just physical momentum, emotional momentum. You push forward because stopping means shattering. Literally, you are a being made of glass. Every collision threatens to break you, and this isn't just a gimmick, it's the core identity of the game. Skate Story merges high speed technical skateboarding, surreal narrative design, dreamlike environmental storytelling, demanding execution based movement, and a meditative atmosphere of cosmic dread. And unlike traditional skate games, this isn't about score, tricks, or style for its own sake. It's about control, clarity, and the emotional rhythm of motion. Every push is a risk, every corner is a lesson, every descent is a story, and the game never stops reminding you. Pain is your teacher, momentum is your weapon. This is not Tony Hawk. This is not skate. This is a metaphysical journey about staying upright when your entire identity could break at any moment. Movement in Skate Story is its own language. The game is built around the idea that skating isn't simply a mechanic, it's a form of emotional expression. The physics are grounded, deliberate, and surprisingly heavy. You feel the weight of your fragile body, the texture of the ground beneath the wheels, the shock of every imperfect landing, the vibration of wheels on uneven surfaces, the terrifying silence before a fall. Tricks require intention, timing, fearlessness. Ollies are not just button taps, they're commitments. Kickflips aren't spammed, they're earned. Grinds aren't routine, they're flirtations with death. You slowly learn that Skate Story is a metaphor for mastery itself, the journey from instability toward fluency, from hesitance toward intuitive motion. By mastering the mechanics, you're not just learning how to skate, you're learning how the world talks to you. The environment isn't a backdrop, it's a conversation partner, and as you improve, you stop fighting the ground and start dancing with it. The underworld of Skate Story is built like a dream you half remember from a feverish night. Vivid, shifting, broken in ways that shouldn't make sense, yet feel oddly familiar. Skate Story's world is a blend of abstract geometry, retro futuristic neon, shattered architecture suspended in endless voids, monstrous yet symbolic entities, ritualistic design choices. Each area represents a different emotional state, a different part of the protagonist's psyche, a different truth you don't want to look directly at. You skate through ruins shaped like regrets, tunnels that loop like intrusive thoughts, arenas built from repressed memories, landscapes made from your own mistakes, and beings that speak in riddles about pain, purpose, and identity. The world is not logical, it's psychological, and that's what makes it fascinating. The environment feels alive because it reacts to how you move, not literally, but symbolically. If you approach the world with fear, it feels hostile. If you approach with confidence, it feels generous. If you approach with desperation, it feels suffocating. Skate Story doesn't explain its world, it reflects you. Enemies in Skate Story are more thematic than mechanical. They aren't obstacles for the sake of difficulty, they're embodiments of ideas. You encounter shadow creatures representing doubt, flame entities representing rage, glitched ghosts representing broken memories, towering demons representing looming failure, serene figures that speak cryptic truths, and of course, the hunger at the bottom of the world. The final truth the game makes you skate toward: combat isn't traditional. It's about dodging through uncertainty, weaving momentum through danger, maintaining flow under pressure. The enemies aren't meant to be defeated, they're meant to be understood, avoided, navigated, accepted. In Skate Story, your foe is always yourself. Every enemy is something your character and you have tried to outrun. But skating is the only way forward, and the only way out is through. The soundtrack of Skate Story is one of its most powerful tools. It's a mixture of ambient electronica, distorted guitar textures, glitchy percussion, hypnotic loops, meditative synth drones. The music doesn't hype you up, it grounds you. It holds you in place while the world collapses around you. Every track is designed around the cadence of skating, the rise and fall of momentum, the repetition of push, roll, land, repeat, the emotional pacing of progression. The score is less a soundtrack and more a mantra, a way of breathing through the world, and the sound effects, they're surgical. The crystalline crack of a fall, the subtle chime of wheels hitting smooth ground, the echo of distant voices in the void, the whisper of your own thoughts. Skate Story turns sound into emotion, and emotion into navigation. This is a game you feel through your ears. Skate Story isn't about plot in the traditional sense. It's a symbolic narrative delivered through cryptic dialogue, surreal cutscenes, environmental metaphors, thematic motifs. You are told you are made of glass and pain. You must skate to the moon. You must devour the demon. The story is ambiguous, but never empty. It's about trauma, healing, pushing forward after breaking, mastering the self, transforming fear into motion. The characters you meet speak in riddles because the truth isn't simple. They guide you not with exposition, but with philosophy. Skate Story does not hold your hand, it offers you a mirror. And the more you skate, the more you realize the story is not about the world, it's about the person holding the controller. Progression in Skate Story doesn't feel like leveling up, it feels like becoming someone new. You unlock cleaner movement, smoother transitions, safer landings, deeper control, higher confidence. Upgrades are metaphors for growth. You start fragile, unstable, terrified to push too hard. You end fluid, expressive, and fearless. But the game makes sure you never forget. You can still break. You can always break. Progression is not invincibility, it's resilience. And Skate Story understands something few games do. Mastery is not eliminating fear. Mastery is learning to move with it. No game is perfect, and Skate Story has flaws worth discussing. High difficulty curve. The game's learning curve can be punishing. Some players will bounce off within minutes. The fragile glass mechanics demand patience few players expect going in. Repetition. The meditative cycle of skating can sometimes border on repetitive, especially during extended traversal sequences with minimal variation. Limited enemy variety. Enemies are symbolic, but mechanically they can feel samey over long sessions. Vague story delivery. Players who crave explicit narrative may struggle with the abstract, metaphor heavy approach. Occasional camera tension. The camera does an admirable job, but high speed moments in tight spaces can occasionally feel uncomfortable. These issues don't ruin the experience, but they do shape it. Skate Story is not a crowd pleaser. It's a niche masterpiece designed for players willing to meet it halfway. Skate Story is important, not because it's perfect, but because it's different. It challenges how movement can feel, how narrative can be delivered, how themes can be expressed, how games can blend mechanics with metaphor, and how gameplay can reflect emotional reality. It's rare for a game to feel sincere. Skate Story feels deeply sincere. It is raw, it is artistic, it is vulnerable, it is strikingly beautiful, and it is emotionally generous in a way few games manage. Skate Story asks you to move through pain, not to ignore it, to accept that fear is part of progress, to embrace the fragility of being alive, to keep skating, and that message resonates long after the credits roll. I'm giving Skate Story an 8 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a like and subscribe for more gaming reviews. Let me know if you're playing Skate Story and what you think of the game. See you next time.